From summer games under the sun to pure childhood friendships, The Sandlot is a vivid portrait of youth. But when the cameras stopped rolling, the lives of some of the young actors were not as bright as what they once portrayed. Some survived near-death accidents, some endured the pain of a murdered mother, and some silently passed away forever. What happened after the movie ended? Let's explore the stories of the actors and honor the legacies they left behind. Let's go. James Earl Jones as Mr. Myrtle. James Earl Jones was born on January 17, 1931, in Arcaboutla, Mississippi. When he acted in The Sandlot in 1993, he was 62 years old, playing Mr. Myrtle, the blind neighbor who owned the giant dog, the Beast, and the baseball signed by Babe Ruth. Although he appeared in only one scene at the end of the film, his role was a key emotional piece, bringing historical depth and memory to the story. But before becoming an icon, James Earl Jones was once a child abandoned by his father at a young age. He lived with his grandparents on a farm in Michigan, which led to a severe stutter. For many years he didn't speak to anyone, choosing instead to write poetry to escape into his own world. That trauma only began to fade when a literature teacher asked him to read his poems aloud in class, a moment that saved his life, allowing him to pursue acting and persist through dozens of rejections due to the color of his skin and a deep voice deemed too different. Love came late and was brief. James married for the first time but divorced without children. Later, in 1982, he married actress Cecilia Hart, his co-star in Othello on stage. They had one son together, Flynn, and lived happily for nearly 35 years until Cecilia passed away from ovarian cancer in 2016. Her death caused him to live more quietly, stepping away from the spotlight. During this time, James had to live with type 2 diabetes, a condition that severely impacted his health and daily life. James Earl Jones passed away on September 9, 2024, at his home in New York at the age of 93. He died peacefully, surrounded by his son and family members. His death left Hollywood in silence. His net worth was estimated at around $40 million, earned from 6 decades of relentless artistic work, from The Great White Hope to Star Wars, from The Lion King to Fences. Art LaFleur as Babe Ruth. Art LaFleur was born on September 9, 1943, in Guiry, Indiana. When he took part in The Sandlot in 1993, he was 50 years old, playing baseball legend Babe Ruth in a short but meaningful dream sequence. He even inspired young Benny with the iconic line, "Heroes get remembered, but legends never die." It was a cameo role, but much like LaFleur's own career. Yet behind the strong and calm image was a life full of uncertainty. Before turning to acting, Art did all kinds of jobs, from sales, bar management, to working in the restaurant industry. It wasn't until he was 31 years old that he dared to leave Chicago for Los Angeles to pursue film, initially with hopes of becoming a screenwriter. But it was a friend, actor Jonathan Banks, who encouraged him to try acting. It was a late gamble, but one filled with determination. Starting in 1977, LaFleur slowly built a career, specializing in tough supporting roles, from American soldiers to baseball coaches, quietly working on screen for over 40 years. His personal life was simple. In 1981, Art married Shelley Friedman, a production coordinator he met on set. The marriage lasted exactly 40 years, until the day he took his last breath. They had 2 children, Joseph and Molly, and 1 grandchild named Frankie. No scandals, no controversies, but the most tragic part of his life was a rare and more severe form of Parkinson's disease. Diagnosed in the early 2010s, the illness gradually drained his vitality, forcing him to stop acting in 2017. For someone who used his body and voice to express emotion, it was a quiet but brutal cruelty. Art LaFleur passed away on November 17, 2021 in Los Angeles, at the age of 78. He was cremated, and his ashes were returned to his family. the ones who had always stood by him through every quiet pain. His net worth was estimated at around $5 million, saved from decades of acting, even if he rarely had led roles. Pablo P. Vitar as older Benny Rodriguez. Pablo Pedro Vitar was born on April 22, 1966, in Los Angeles, California. When he appeared in The Sandlot in 1993, he was about 27 years old, playing the grown-up version of Benny the Jet Rodriguez in the film's emotional ending scene. Though he appeared for only a few dozen seconds, he represented a dream come true. The boy who once loved baseball had now become a professional player for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And it was this brief appearance that made his role so memorable in the hearts of the audience. From a young age, Pablo did not pursue acting like his younger brother Mike Vitar, who played young Benny. He appeared in film only once, then returned to normal life, choosing to become a public servant. Since 1996, Pablo had worked as a police officer at the Los Angeles Police Department in the Hollywood area. The job was full of pressure, stress, and sometimes danger. But he worked tirelessly to the point where colleagues described him as honest, dedicated, and reserved. For Pablo, the quiet sacrifices of real life mattered more than cinematic fame. In 2004, Pablo married Gail John Grunwald, his life partner with whom he built a home and raised 3 young children. But 4 years later, everything collapsed when Pablo was diagnosed with colon cancer, a rapidly progressing and rare disease in young people. That truth came like a thunderclap as he was at the peak of family life, in a stable job, and with seemingly no health concerns. Pablo continued to work as much as he could until his body could no longer endure. He passed away on January 29, 2008 in Los Angeles at the age of 41. There was no big funeral, no media coverage, only quiet mourning from his family, colleagues, and those who had seen him on screen in The Sandlot. Pablo's net worth was estimated at around $500,000, mostly from over a decade of steady police work and modest personal assets. Tom Guiry as Scotty Smalls. Thomas John Guiry was born on October 12, 1981 in Trenton, New Jersey. When he was just 12 years old, little Tom made his big-screen debut as the lead character Scotty Smalls in The Sandlot, 1993, a childhood classic about friendship, baseball, and growing up. The character Scotty, a shy boy who had just moved to a new neighborhood and learned to play ball, quickly won audiences over with his innocence and charm. This role catapulted Guiry to fame, opening the door to numerous roles in Lassie, Black Hawk Down, Mystic River, and The Revenant. While his film career developed fairly steadily, Tom Guiry's real life was far more turbulent. In 1999, when he was only 18 years old, he became the father of a baby boy, a major turning point and heavy responsibility for a young actor. What seemed like it would be a peaceful life after marrying Janelle Bloodsworth in 2009 took another turn when Guiry was arrested in 2013 at Houston Airport for intoxication and assaulting a police officer, causing him to miss The Sandlot's 20th anniversary reunion. Most recently, in June 2024, he again faced legal trouble for throwing a weight at a neighbor's car and showing up at someone's house with a knife. Incidents that raised concern about his mental state and the personal pressure he was under. In a rare 2018 interview, Guiry revealed that he worked night shifts at Whole Foods to support his 3 children and maintain a modest life in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Though once expected to become a breakout child star, Tom seemed to choose a quieter path, one often torn between past fame and current responsibilities. The cracks in his personal life and the legal troubles may have dimmed his cinematic shine, but they also revealed a real human being, complex, vulnerable, and trying to hold on to balance. As of 2025, Tom Guiry's net worth is estimated to be around $1.5 million, a figure reflecting a 3-decade career with many supporting roles in major films, though no longer as dazzling as his childhood stardom. It is the complicated journey of an actor who was once a childhood icon, now quietly facing the very real challenges of adult life, much like how Scotty Smalls once learned to throw his first baseball in that old Sandlot. Mike Vitar as Benjamin Franklin Benny Rodriguez. Michael Anthony Vitar was born on December 21, 1978, in Los Angeles, California. He began his acting career at the age of 12 and became famous for playing Benjamin Franklin Benny the Jet Rodriguez, the fast, inspirational leader of the group in The Sandlot, 1993, when he was just 15 years old. Vitar continued to attract audiences with his role as Luis Mendoza in D2 and D3, The Mighty Ducks, before retiring from acting in 1997. At the peak of his fame, he was beloved as a childhood icon of the 1990s. After the spotlight faded, Vitar chose a completely different path. He became an EMT and later a firefighter with the Los Angeles Fire Department starting in 2002. His marriage to Kim Allen in 2007 and their 3 children seemed to bring him a stable and fulfilling life, but tragedy still found its way. In 2008, his beloved older brother, Pablo Vitar, who had also portrayed the adult Benny in The Sandlot, passed away from colon cancer. Pablo's death was a major emotional blow, leaving a void that Mike could never fill. Before that grief could fade, in 2015, Mike was involved in a serious scandal. Along with a group of people, he assaulted a man on Halloween night, suspecting him of giving children drug-laced candy. The victim suffered severe injuries and kidney failure, and Vitar faced charges of felony assault. Although he later pled guilty to a reduced charge, he was sentenced to 3 years of probation, 90 days of community service, and was suspended without pay for 6 months from the fire department. The civil lawsuit concluded in 2019 with a settlement of over $7 million paid to the victim, and Vitar's childhood hero image crumbled in the public eye. As of 2025, Mike Vitar still lives quietly in Los Angeles, continuing his firefighting work with a steady income. His net worth is estimated to be around $300,000, mostly from his current job rather than his past acting career. Today, Vitar is a name that evokes childhood memories, but also serves as a reminder that not every path away from Hollywood leads to peace. Patrick Renna as Hamilton Ham Porter. Patrick Maxwell. Renna was born on March 3, 1979, in Boston, Massachusetts. He began his acting career at age 14 and left an unforgettable impression on audiences with his role as Hamilton Ham Porter, the group's witty, mischievous catcher in The Sandlot, 1993, made iconic by the unforgettable line, "You're killing me, Smalls." It was also Renna's first audition ever, and he was the last to be cast, ultimately creating one of the most iconic characters in 1990s children's cinema. Unlike many of his fellow The Sandlot cast members, Patrick Renna avoided scandal, choosing a quiet and steady career path. After his breakout role, he went on to appear in many films such as The Big Green, Son-in-Law, and made guest appearances in popular series like Bones, CSI, ER, and Glow. Although he never became an A-list star, he maintained a unique place in fans' hearts thanks to his friendly and humorous image. In real life, Renna is a devoted husband and a loving father. His marriage to Jasmine Renna in 2006 marked a stable phase in his personal life. The couple has 3 children, Flynn, Liam, and Lily June. Renna often shares everyday moments with his family on social media, winning affection for his honest and positive personality. He also participates in cast reunions of The Sandlot and co-founded the nonprofit organization Play Forever, which helps youth pursue sports. His life, though not flooded with fame, is filled with the kind of peace many Hollywood stars long for. As of 2025, at age 46, he has not only kept the love of longtime fans, but also won over a new generation thanks to his charm and dedication as a father. Patrick Renna's net worth is estimated at around $1 million, largely from steady acting roles and his work in film production. His life may not be marked by drama, but it is this very simplicity that makes him stand out in a Hollywood full of scandal. Chauncey Leopardi as Michael Squints Palladorus. Chauncey Leopardi was born on June 14, 1981, in the United States. At age 12, he made a strong impression playing Michael Squints Palladorus in The Sandlot, 1993. The mischievous, glasses-wearing kid, best known for the classic scene where he fakes drowning to kiss lifeguard Wendy, one of the most iconic moments in American children's cinema. The role etched Chauncey's name into the childhood memories of countless generations, turning him into a standout child star of the 1990s. Following the spotlight of The Sandlot, Chauncey continued his acting career with several memorable supporting roles, including Alan White in Freaks and Geeks and Kyle in Gilmore Girls. However, his personal life was far from smooth. Chauncey went through a tense divorce with his first wife, Stephanie Sells, with whom he has a daughter named Paige. During that time, he struggled to balance work, fatherhood, and the emotional toll of a failed marriage, leaving him feeling lost for many years. Fortunately, calm followed the storm. He found happiness with his second wife, Ilona Vai, and their two children, Shia and Chance. Though he no longer appears frequently on screen, Chauncey shifted toward business and dedicates most of his time to his family. He once shared that being a father brings him joy and purpose more profound than any role he ever played. While he avoided major scandals, he was once sued by a former classmate who claimed that the character Squints damaged his reputation. But the lawsuit was dismissed, and Chauncey continued to lead a quiet life without chasing fame. As of 2025, Chauncey Leopardi, at age 44, has a net worth estimated at around $800,000, largely from a long-running acting career that began in childhood and a few personal investments. Although he faced challenging periods involving marriage and self-identity, he has found stability in his private life and chosen to step away from Hollywood in favor of a normal life. Brandon Quintin Adams as Kenny DeNunez. Brandon Quintin Adams was born on August 22, 1979 in Topeka, Kansas, and began acting as a young child. At 14 years old, he left his mark by playing Kenny DeNunez in The Sandlot, 1993. The team's primary pitcher, always involved in the film's most intense baseball scenes, and considered one of the group's essential pillars. Before that, he had already stood out in Michael Jackson's Moonwalker as Zeke, showcasing his versatility in both acting and dance. However, the spotlight didn't guarantee a smooth life. In 2002, Brandon faced a major tragedy when his closest friend, actor Merlin Santana, was shot and killed in an ambush right next to him. Adams survived, but the trauma left deep emotional scars that he battled for years. The incident, orchestrated by a 15-year-old girl obsessed with Santana, made the tragedy even more shocking. In a later interview, Brandon revealed that the experience shattered his trust in people and made him want to give up everything. After that traumatic event, Brandon gradually stepped back from Hollywood and turned to music under the stage name B. Lee. However, his music career never reached significant success. He spent more time focusing on his family, pets, and made occasional returns to television. As of 2025, at age 46, Brandon Quintin Adams has a net worth estimated at around $600,000, mostly from his early acting career and later musical endeavors. Marty York as Alan "Yeah Yeah" McLennan. Marty York was born on August 23, 1980, in Auburn, California. At 13 years old, he made a mark in The Sandlot, 1993, as Alan "Yeah Yeah" McLennan, the funny kid with a unique nickname, known for his rapid-fire lines and explosive energy among the baseball-loving gang. Marty's role brought laughter and charm, helping to shape the youthful and innocent spirit of the film. However, life off-screen was far from easy for Marty York. In 1997, at 17 years old, he was involved in a serious car accident that left him with broken legs and a fractured nose, requiring a hip replacement and placing him in a coma for a period. The accident completely changed his life, forcing him to pause his acting career to focus on recovery. Although he later appeared in small roles on shows like Boy Meets World and Smil F., he primarily shifted toward working as a fitness trainer and lived a more private life. Tragedy struck again in October 2023 when his mother, Diana Esmail, was brutally murdered by her boyfriend. The case shocked many not only because of its brutality, but also because of the close bond between Marty and his mother, who had always been his emotional anchor in a life full of upheaval. On social media, Marty called his mother a hero and vowed to live in a way that would honor the spiritual legacy she left behind. As of 2025, Marty York, now 45 years old, continues working as a fitness trainer and occasionally attends the Sandlot tribute events. His net worth is estimated to be around $500,000, primarily from his acting income and his career in fitness. Though no longer in the spotlight as he was in his youth, Marty maintains a modest and resilient presence, a testament to his journey through both physical and emotional hardship and his enduring connection to the unforgettable "Yeah, yeah." Victor DiMattia as Timmy Timmons. Victor DiMattia was born on December 20th, 1980, in Salt Lake City, Utah. At 13 years old, he played Timmy Timmons in The Sandlot, 1993, one of the two brothers in the close-knit group of baseball-loving kids. Timmy was the older, more mature, and composed brother, often looking out for his younger sibling, Tommy. Although the role didn't have many lines, Timmy's presence added to the sense of teamwork and brotherly warmth in the film. Before The Sandlot, Victor DiMattia was already a familiar face in children's and family films like Dennis the Menace and Cool as Ice. After playing Timmy, he quietly stepped away from Hollywood and moved into behind-the-scenes work as a director, editor, and producer of short films. Victor's life has remained free of public scandal or tragedy. He once described the time filming The Sandlot as the best summer camp of my life, reflecting a peaceful childhood within the glare of Hollywood. In the late 2010s, Victor made a surprise return to acting with roles in Get Married or Die and Death Rider in The House of Vampires, showing that his passion for the arts never truly faded. Off-camera, he married Whitney DiMattia and has kept a low-profile personal life, rarely appearing in the media. Though not a major celebrity, Victor remains beloved by the Sandlot fans, remembered for playing the cautious, glasses-wearing older brother always by his little brother's side. By 2025, Victor DiMattia, now 45 years old, lives peacefully and continues pursuing his artistic passion through behind-the-scenes projects. His net worth is estimated to be around $400,000, stemming from his early acting success and later work in directing and producing. While many of his co-stars faced turmoil, Victor chose a quiet but enduring path, just like Timmy, who once silently looked after his brother on that dusty baseball field so long ago. Shane Obedinski as Tommy Repeat Timmons. Shane Obedinski was born on July 26, 1982. In 1993, at 13 years old, he played Tommy Repeat Timmons in The Sandlot, the adorable younger brother of Timmy, known for his habit of repeating everything his brother said. Although he appeared in only a handful of scenes, Shane's character left a gentle impression, adding to the group's bond and especially highlighting a rare depiction of brotherhood in American coming-of-age films. Before The Sandlot, Shane had appeared in a few other movies such as My Girl, 1991, and Matinee, 1993, but it was the role of Tommy that brought him closer to young audiences. However, unlike many of his co-stars, Shane quickly stepped away from Hollywood. After a long absence, he briefly returned in 2017 for a short film, then faded once again into everyday life. Choosing not to pursue fame, Shane Obedinski took a more peaceful route, the food business. He is currently the owner of a pizza restaurant called Times Square Pizza Company in Florida, where he personally manages and serves customers. His life has remained free of public scandals or tragedies, a rare occurrence among former child stars in Hollywood. As of 2025, Shane is 45 years old, living a quiet and modest life, almost entirely removed from the entertainment industry. His net worth is estimated at around $300,000, mainly from his business. Though he once stepped through the glow of cinematic fame, Shane is still fondly remembered by fans as Tommy Repeat, the soft-spoken boy who echoed his brother's words, yet made a lasting mark in a childhood classic. Grant Gelt as Bertram Grover Weeks. Grant Gelt was born on February 1, 1980, in Los Angeles, California. At just 13 years old, he played Bertram Grover Weeks in The Sandlot, 1993, a kid known for his baseball cap, his habit of chewing tobacco, and for delivering humorous moments to the gang. Though not a central character, Bertram stood out with his quiet yet distinctive personality among the energetic group of young actors. Following his early success, Grant continued with a few supporting roles in TV shows like Boy Meets World and Saved by the Bell, but left Hollywood in 1999. He chose a completely different path, stepping away from the spotlight and entering the world of business. In the years that followed, he moved to Nashville and gradually built a name for himself in the creative and tech industries. Today, Grant is the CEO of the creative agency Masscult and serves as Chief Strategy Officer, CSO, at Waxify, an integrated e-commerce platform. He also once managed the popular rock band Black Rebel Motorcycle Club and co-founded the nonprofit Play Forever, which supports youth involvement in sports and the arts. Grant is known for always wearing a baseball cap, a signature style that connects both his life and his childhood role. In 2025, at age 45, Grant Gelt leads a stable life, free from scandal and public tragedy. He lives happily with his wife, Melissa Perez, and has an estimated net worth of around $1 million. Although no longer active in acting, his image in The Sandlot remains etched in fans' memories as a sweet part of 1990s childhood. While the glow of The Sandlot still lives on in the hearts of fans, the losses behind the scenes leave us with a sense of sorrow. Childhood on screen may be immortal, but real life is more fragile than ever. Have you ever wondered what really happened after the cameras stopped rolling? Share your thoughts about the characters and which tragedy has haunted you the most. And don't forget to follow along as we uncover more hidden corners of our childhood legends.